Hey guys, what's going on? It's Vic here, back with another Madden 22 rebuild. In today's episode, we're going to be rebuilding the Buffalo Bills. And yeah, I think they're a really good team. I just think there's some piecing to do they need. First of all, the biggest piecing is running the ball and getting that run game established. I don't know what's up with that. They have a really good, really good passing game, solid offensive line. Dawson Knox is heavily underrated. What I just the run game is so terrible with them. It needs to improve. And yeah, they can't just rely on Josh Allen just to do it all for them with Stephon Diggs. They need to get that run game established. And defensively, they're looking a little bit old there. Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, they're in a win now situation. I believe they should win it either this year or next year, or else it's not going to happen in a long time. That's my personal opinion. But anyways, guys, apart from that, let's get into the overlook of the team. So here we are with the overlook of the team, and we have Josh Allen here, and actually, as I'm recording this today is, I think, December 2nd. Yeah, December 2nd. I believe I'll be dropping this on December 3rd. Yeah, the Madden has given him an X Factor. Just today, this morning, I looked it up on their Instagram page, and yeah, looking into it, we have Devin Singletary, Zach Moss here. I don't know if I want to start Zach Moss over Devin Singletary because, actually, no. Devin Singletary is about the same age. Wait, is he younger? No, he's the same age as him, higher overall, so I will keep him as the starter. If you heard that barking in the background, that's my dog, of course. Kind of irritates me whenever he does that while I'm recording, but it's fine. And Cole Beasley is a stud in simulation, same with Stephon Diggs. We also have Gabriel Davis. I completely forgot he was on here. Cole Beasley is going to be our slot. Emmanuel Sanders is here as well. How do I keep forgetting that these players are on these teams? O-line is solid. Mitch Morse, I think, yeah, he's going to be on his way out soon. Deion Dawkins has developed pretty well as a left tackle. Overall, look at this. Cody Ford is pretty good. Dawson Knox, he did get an overall up. I thought he used to be like a 74 overall. I'm glad they actually upped his overall. Defensively, Ed Oliver, former first-round pick. Jerry Hughes, I kind of want to trade him, but at the same time, he's a pretty good overall for 1 year. Tremaine Edmonds, my bad. Edmonds brothers. Matt Milano is great in simulation. AJ Klein is actually really good in simulation, but he's 30 years old. So I'm starting Smith right here, Andre Smith Jr. Hopefully he can get a dev up. And yeah, Klein is going to be a third string. And anything else I want here? Mario Addison, I don't want him starting. Yeah, I don't want him. I just don't want him in general. I don't want him starting over AJ Epineza, however you pronounce it. Why is he a rush defensive tackle? That's irritating. I want him to be my rush right end, but it won't make me have him at rush right end. It's really stupid. I don't know why it does that. Defensively, Jordan Poyer is amazing. Micah Hyde's amazing. Trey White, he's out for the season this year, but still amazing, of course. And offensively, already went over this. Cool. So I'm going to change this to AJ to right rush end, and we are going to get into the midseason mark. So I'll see you guys there. Here we are at the midseason mark as we are 3-3, second in the division behind the Patriots, as the Bills are always behind the Patriots. Looking at the draft class, actually, keep auto-generated rookies. I'll just keep that there. I'm not going to go into depth on scouting and all of that. We're going to go to players ready to negotiate to see what we have here. And we have Jerry Hughes. Again, I can't. His age. Emmanuel Sanders' age. Levi Wallace actually does really good in simulation. In real life, he sucks, though. Depends how he does this year. But he'll be 27. He'll start regression the next year after this. So I just don't know. Everyone here, Matt Breida's on this team. I thought he was still on the Dolphins just as a depth player. Wow, I missed out on a lot. Matt Hawk doesn't have star dev anymore. I remember him in Madden 21 always having it. Everyone here is just garbage. I just don't need them for the long-term future, so I'm just going to get into the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs, finishing 12-5. Okay, I did not expect that. Beating out the Patriots, who only finished 9-8. The Jets finished 9-8. Coming off a win to the Jets, 31-10. Wow. Okay, what a comeback to the season. Went from 3-3 to 12-5. I'm about to say 12-15. Josh Allen was amazing. Come on. He didn't. Okay, he got 4th for MVP. That's sick. 7th best offense in the NFL. And defensively, 7th best defense. Cool. Josh Allen, 4,900 yards, 41 TDs, 8 interceptions. Devin Singletary, 10 TDs, almost 900 yards. Just not a good season. What was his average? 3.6 is terrible. Josh Allen had a better average, but at the same time, Josh Allen rolls out of the pocket, gets more time. But yeah, still. Cole Beasley, 1,600 yards, 9 TDs. That's what I'm talking about, how Cole Beasley is so good in simulation. Dawson Knox, 9 TDs, almost 1,100 yards. Stephon Diggs, barely 1,000 yards and 11 TDs. Where is Isaiah McKenzie? Wow. Gabriel Davis got 0 touches. That is ridiculous. Okay. Defensively, Tremaine Edmonds, 127 tackles. Tackles for a loss is 14 for AJ and 14 for Ed Oliver. Sacks, 22 for Jerry. My God. He's getting a re-sign. 4 interceptions for Tremaine, 4 interceptions for Tre'Davious, and 2 interceptions for Jordan Poyer. Safeties, 1 for Jerry Hughes. Defensive touchdowns, 1 for Levi Wall. What a ridiculous year. Most sacks in a season. Let's see. Defensive sacks. It doesn't count half a sack. Josh Allen with the Vikings. Jay Allen. I must be stupid. Yeah, that's 2011. I must be stupid. Jerry Hughes ties the all-time record. It won't show half a sack. But what a freak, dude. What a absolute freak. Okay, let's see if we can beat the Broncos in the wild card to move on to the divisional. And can we do it? We do. 21-14. Let's see if we can beat the Ravens in the divisional. As a Ravens fan, it upsets me to see the Ravens lose in the divisional. And we lost the Ravens. Okay, it doesn't upset me anymore. But still, for the sake of this rebuild, it kind of does. Yeah, let's just move into the offseason. Here we are in the offseason as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Baltimore Ravens in the Super Bowl. Shaq Barrett wins Super Bowl MVP. And Jerry Hughes wins Defensive Player of the Year, which is sick. I'm going to for sure give him a re-sign just because that season. I know he's old, but this is the dumb thing about Madden. Hold up. Offensively, how did Cole Beasley not get an X Factor? Stupid. Gabriel Davis, I definitely want as a 3rd string, not Emmanuel Sanders. So we got no offensive upgrades. Defensively, oh my, shut up. I don't care. I'm changing his development. You're not going to tell me that he wins Defensive Player of the Year and ties the all-time sack record and doesn't get a dev up. Stupid. EA, fix your game, dude. That's such BS. I'm giving him superstar. And then the dumbest thing ever. If you win Defensive Player of the Year, do you think your player would regress? Why? Why is that a thing? Why is it whenever your player, regardless of how good they do that season, if they are of an old age, they will regress? Like, look at that, -9 finesse moves. That's going to affect simulation so much. That's so stupid, dude. Why is that a thing? Speed -2, tackle -1. Like, it's so dumb. If Tom Brady wins the league MVP in simulation, I guarantee you that he will regress regardless of how good he played. He could put 7,000 yards in a season. They'll be like, yeah, that's cool and all, but you go from a 95 to an 89 because you're old. That makes no logical sense. EA would immediately give him a 99. It makes me so upset. Anyways, Tremaine Edmonds, superstar dev, that's cool. I expected Matt Milano to honestly get it, but God, that pisses me off that he doesn't, that Jerry Hughes did not get that, and also that he regresses. So stupidest thing in this game, bro. Regression system is terrible. If you win any type of award, the simulation just goes, nah, that's dumb. Your age, you're old. I win Defensive Player of the Year. You don't get a dev up. Dumbest thing, bro. Anyways, let's see the 2021 retirements. Antonio Clown finally retires. We have the AFC East. Yeah, Devin McCourty retires. Okay, that's cool. And looking into the players ready to negotiate, Jerry Hughes is going to come back. 78 overall. That's just so stupid. Let's see if he wants to test out free agency. I just tagged him for $20 million. Oh my God. I thought it was going to be like a $14 million tag. I did not think it would be $20 million, but after having a 22 sack season, I kind of have to re-sign him. Levi Wallace didn't progress. I thought it was going to be like $14 million. I didn't think it was going to be a $20 million tag. I kind of goofed on that. We don't have that much in free agency, but let's get into it. Here we are after free agency as I'm picking up Von Miller, who's going to start over AJ. It says right end. Jerry Hughes is a right end. I thought he was a left end. I guess I'll have to change Jerry Hughes to a left end. AJ Cole, also on a dirt cheap deal for a punter. So anyways, guys, it's time to move into the draft. Charles Everett, right guard out of Clemson, hidden development, 87 strength. Looks pretty good. Gonna protect Josh Allen a little bit more, but I do plan on getting a run game in this draft as well. So this is what the team looks like after the draft. I ended up moving Charles Everett over to left guard. He is a 71 overall hidden dev. John, I'm gonna have to cut you, dude. You're not good. You're old. You're just not that high of an overall. There's no point to having you on this team. And Zach Moss and Devin Singletary, honestly, probably trade later in the future and probably pick up Kareem Hunt later down the line. AJ Klein, not needed. Yeah, I just don't need that cap penalty or cap hit with me. AJ is going to play defensive tackle for this year, apparently, according to the CPU, which I'm cool with, I guess. And yeah, I don't know how I feel about this team necessarily. I feel like pretty good with Von Miller because he's a god in simulation, but I don't necessarily know. Zach Moss is going to be the starter for this year because Devin Singletary never produces in simulation. So I'm going to keep him there. And yeah, offensively, I like what I got. I don't know what I like. I don't really know about defense, though. I'm kind of on edge about it. Yeah, anyways, let's just move into the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark. The Jets are 5-1 top of the division. Okay, dude. We are 4-3 coming off a win to the Browns. Surprisingly, the Browns. We got some players ready to negotiate here. What do we have? Tremaine Edmonds. I almost keep calling him Terrell. Let's up the money on this. And here he signs. Jordan Poyer. I don't know. I don't know what I want with this guy. I think I will actually keep him around for the rest of this rebuild. I do get him a lot in a lot of my other rebuilds, so he does resign. Dawson Knox is a must-have back, of course. Very cheap, actually. Let's up the money on this a little bit. And he resigns. Ed Oliver, of course, we spent the first-round pick on him. Pretty good, pretty solid, and up the money. Very cheap for a defensive tackle. Cole Beasley, you're great in simulation. Somehow you didn't get an X Factor. You probably won't even be an 80 overall by the end of this year. Devin Singletary is up and out of here. I am immediately trading this guy away. Bears want him. Bears apparently have a high interest. Can I get a player out of you? Is there like a DB? Jalen Johnson. I already got that in my other rebuild. Can I have a high interest team? A high interest, yes. Chiefs. What do you have at DB? I'd like to see that. L'Jarius Sneed. No, I'll trade for L'Jarius Sneed. How much does this get? Okay, never mind. Okay, I thought it was going to be like halfway through, but never mind. Sure. Devin Singletary straight up for L'Jarius Sneed. We just robbed the Chiefs. Mitch Morse, probably not. Jerry Hughes is going to be a no. Cody Ford, despite having a great season, you will continue to regress regardless if you put up 100 sacks in a season. It's really stupid. Everyone else here is just a no. So apart from that, guys, I'm going to look at L'Jarius Sneed's development because no way that just went through without it being like normal or something like that. It has to be. He's apparently star dev. Okay, we just got a really good DB, a very good young DB for absolutely nothing. So let's move to the playoffs. Here we are at the midseason mark coming off a loss to the Ravens as we are 11-6. Take the division over the Jets as we're going to be playing them in the wild card. Let's go to the stats and awards here. What do we have? Josh Allen, very good in yards, not good in passing touchdowns. 13th best offense, 9th best defense. Okay. 4,400 yards, 23 TDs. How did you fall off that hard? Zach Moss, 11 TDs, over 900 yards. Literally a less overall, better average, better TDs, slightly better average. That's not a good average, by the way. 11 TDs, more yards than Devin Singletary in the last year. Devin Singletary did nothing for us. Cole Beasley, 1,200 yards, 3 TDs. Again, Cole Beasley is great, but that's because he's in the slot. You get a lot more targets in the slot. Dawson Knox got the most targets, though, with the most receptions. 1,100 yards, 5 TDs. Stephon Diggs, almost 1,000 yards, 7 TDs. Gabriel Davis is just not getting the touches I want him to. Looking into it defensively, Tremaine Edmonds, 123 tackles for a loss, 18 for Von Miller, 19 sacks for Von Miller. That is exactly what I was saying before. Von Miller is so good in simulation despite how low of an overall he is. Jerry Hughes continues to produce numbers, So I might just keep him around for another year because he continues to produce. He should be an X factor, but I'm sure they won't give it to him. 16 tackles for a loss, great. Ed Oliver should get superstar dev. I'm sure they won't give it to him. And AJ got 3 sacks, okay, but he's a second string defensive tackle basically now. So that's cool. Interceptions, 4 for Tremaine Edmonds and 4 for Tre'Davious White. Safeties on team, 0. Defensive touchdowns is 0. So anyways, guys, let's see if we can beat the New York Jets to move on to the divisional round. Can we do it? Division rivals, and we can. 38-20. Let's see if we could beat the 11-6 Jacksonville Jaguars and prevent them from going to another Super Bowl. And we cannot prevent them. Losing the divisional, kind of like how the Bills always do. I mean, they didn't lose in the divisional to the Ravens. They lost in the conference championship. But anyways, guys, it's time to move into the offseason. Here we are in the offseason as the Cardinals beat the Jaguars in the Super Bowl. Jaguars still don't acquire their first Super Bowl win, but the Cardinals do. Kyler Murray wins Super Bowl MVP, and there are no Bills player awards for the year, which is unfortunate. Let's look at the roster to see if there is any development upgrades. Cole Beasley should have X Factor, dude. It's so dumb how he doesn't have it. Looks like Everett only has star dev. I'm cool with that. Defensively, Jerry Hughes is somehow not an X Factor. Matt Milano somehow gets superstar dev. Makes no sense. And yeah, that's the only development upgrade on the entire team. That's extremely irritating. So Jerry Hughes once again continues to produce numbers. So if he continues to produce numbers despite his overall, I'm going to re-sign him. That's how it works in real life. That's how it should work everywhere. But everyone gets picky about their contracts sometimes. If he's asking for a lot, I might just let him go. And then actually, I might be able to snag him in free agency really easily. No one in the AFC East retires. I think I could actually snag him in free agency extremely easily because of his age, because no one touches people that have a high age. I might do that with Cole Beasley too. Mitch Morse, look at his regression. He's starting to regress. I just don't need him. Jerry Hughes, 75 overall. How much do you want to be paid? That's actually very cheap. Let's up the money just to make sure he stays. And he resigns. Okay, I'm cool with that. I probably wouldn't have offered him much more. He doesn't Steins for another year. He stays for another year. Cole Beasley, I might just snag in free agency, so let's just get to that. So here we are after free agency. I got a different slot guy, Scotty Miller, very, very quick. Maybe he can produce just as good as Cole Beasley. I doubt it, but at the same time, some people were already pursuing Cole Beasley somehow. I don't know why, but he got signed somehow. I also pursued Rodney Hudson and Kareem Hunt. They didn't accept their contracts, even though I did boost the money for them. So let's just move into the draft. Chauncey Pitts, 90 strength, normal dev. I know it says normal dev, but 90 strength does indicate he has at least a decent overall, so he could be my right guard. Well, actually, he'll be my center, most likely. So this is the team after the draft, and Pitts does have normal dev, but he's a 72 overall with the boost. So he did come as a 70 overall, not really the best first-round pick, but he was a late first-round pick. He will fill the need at center for sure. Is this guy older? Spencer Brown? No, he is going to start for a while. But the boosts do stay there permanently because of the franchise staff, so technically he's a 72. This guy I picked in like the 3rd round. He seems to be pretty decent, actually. Well, no, that's a 1-year player. It was this guy I picked in the 3rd round. God, he's terrible. Why are you playing left end? I need you to play right end, so that way Jerry Hughes can play left end. Don't stop. Don't do that. It pisses me off. Jerry Hughes, I guess you're going to move to right end because Von Miller does not give 2 shits whether or not he plays that or not. Okay. Whatever. I guess Von Miller has officially just taken over left end. And never mind. He went back to right end. As long as Jerry Hughes isn't starting, that's what matters to him. Never mind. We actually went back to left end. Now let's officially change the position to left end and watch him switch back to right end because the mechanics in this game are flawless. I tell you to play a position, they're like, nah, I'm playing this one instead. Because that's basically how everything works here. So Jerry Hughes is going to be starting over AJ. Jerry Hughes, I want down the depth chart for defensive tackle specialist. Yeah, I want AJ second string there. I like everything we have here defensively. Yeah, we're looking good. I like that a lot. So anyways, guys, apart from that, it is time to move into the midseason mark. Hopefully we cannot lose in the playoffs in the divisional again. Here we are at the midseason mark as we are here to face the 6-1 Jacksonville Jaguars. I kind of see who's going to win this game because we are 6-0, top of the division, coming off a win to the Bengals. We have some players ready to negotiate here. And at the top, we have Stephon Diggs. Of course, we're going to want him back. Massive contract for him, up that money. And he wants more. Okay. L'Jarius Sneed just traded for you. Wow, that's very cheap, actually, for a player like you. And you do resign Micah Hyde. I do want you for the rest of this rebuild. God, that's cheap. Hell yeah. And he resigns Zach Moss. That's actually relatively cheap. And you are better than Devin Singletary, so I'll give you a contract. He resigns Tyler Bass, our kicker. I do want back as well. I don't want to go in free agency. I probably could get one for cheaper. Doesn't really matter to me, though. Gabriel Davis, you're not getting a lot of touches, but you will do for now. Very cheap contract. AJ, that's very cheap. If you were asking for a lot more, then I wouldn't, but you've been a second-string rotational piece. Jerry Hughes, all depends how you play this year. How are you playing so far is my question. 4 sacks, yikes. Quite the down year. Yeah, quite the down year for you, man. Hopefully you can turn around the second half of the season because I won't re-sign you if you don't. Daryl, I just don't need you. You're 31 years old. Probably going to end up picking an offensive lineman first overall again. Well, not first overall, in the first round again because I'm not going to re-sign that guy. Let's see if we can beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. Kind of want to see this here if we can beat them because they did beat us in the divisional, which was upsetting. We lost to them. Wow. Okay. We got our first loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars, 35-24. Let's move to the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs, coming off a win to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We finished 13-4, top of the division, above the 12-5 Patriots, 9-8 Dolphins, 7-10 Jets. Did the Dolphins make the playoffs at 9-8? They did. 7th seed. 3 people from our division made the playoffs. Wow, that is very surprising. Let's see what we have for these stats and awards here. Wow. Again, passing yards, great. Passing touchdowns, no. 8th best offense, 2nd best defense. That's great to see. 4,500 yards, 28 TDs, 7 interceptions. What do you want me to do to get you touchdowns, bro? Zach Moss continues to improve every year. Way better than Devin Singletary. 12 TDs, 1,000 yards. Very good for him. What was his average? 3.9 is not that good. Dawson Knox, 1,100 yards, 8 TDs. Gabriel Davis, 9 TDs, 11 yards. Scotty Miller, 8 yards. Well, just 8 yards. And 6 TDs. Stephon Diggs sucked compared to everyone else. Wow, that's upsetting. Defensively, Matt Milano with the most tackles on team, tackles for a loss. 22 for Ed Oliver. Most sacks, 20 for Von Miller. 17. How are you going to tell me that you had 4 sacks at week 8 and then just pull so many sacks just out of your ass? How? That makes no sense. Where's AJ? AJ only had 1 sack, but he's a second shoot. What? I'm giving him superstar X Factor. If the CPU doesn't give it to him, cry in the comments. I dare you. You're not going to tell me he sets an all-time sack record, get 11 sacks the next season, then puts 17.5 sacks up the next season with Von Miller, Ed Oliver, and AJ all competing for sacks. No way you're going to tell me that doesn't deserve X Factor. Interceptions, 4 for Trey White. Trey Edmonds gets 3. Jordan Poyer gets 3 as well. L'Jarius Sneed with 2. Safeties is 0. Defensive touchdowns is 0. God, simulation just pisses me off sometimes, dude. Anyways, let's see if we can beat the Baltimore Ravens to move on to the divisional round. We lost to them last time. Let's see if we can beat them this time. We do. 24-17. I swear to God, if we lose in the divisional again, it's going to piss me off. Please, can we beat the Chiefs? Oh my God. I'm going to kill someone. I'm going to have to hop into the divisional round next season because we obviously can't get it done by ourselves. Here we are in the offseason as the Chiefs get revenge on the Buccaneers, beating them by 22 whole points, kind of stomping them in the Super Bowl as Patrick Mahomes wins league MVP, and there are no awards for the Buffalo Bills. How did Von Miller not get Defensive Player of the Year? He had 20 sacks, dude. That's just not a casual thing people do. Offensively, we look the exact same. Defensively, it looks like Jerry Hughes, they actually gave him X Factor. Wow. But guess what? He's still regressing. How realistic of you guys. So without the boost and without the morale, you -4. He's a 73 overall, despite having 17.5 sacks in a season. Quality game. You guys really hit it out of the park. AJ is just never gonna ever be able to be a starter with how I have this rotation right now with Von Miller and Jerry Hughes constantly just coming off the edge. So he's just gonna move to defensive tackle because apparently he's an 80 overall there, so that's good enough for me. And I'm just gonna officially move him there because he won't ever get off the bench. 6'5", 265 is very light for him, but 6'5" definitely fills the height requirement. He's just gonna have to make it work. I'm not gonna trade him. He's a very solid player. What do I want? Defensively, well, offensively, I might. Yeah, Darrell Williams is gonna be here, so I'm gonna try and pick up a right guard. Maybe that will help you, Josh Allen, because God, you suck at throwing passing touchdowns for some reason. And yeah, let's move into the Resigned Players. Jerry Hughes is definitely coming back. I don't care about his overall. He continues to produce for me each and every season. Somehow manages to pull, 13.5 sacks out of his ass in the second half of the season. That's cool. Looking into the 2023 retirements, AFC East. A punter for the Dolphins retires. What a detrimental loss to them. Looking into the players ready to negotiate here, we have Stephon Diggs being whiny about his bonus. Up that by a lot, and he resigns. Good. Darrell Williams regressed. I don't need him. You is what I want back. You are so cheap as well. I'm going to give you a long-term extension. I don't care if it's 5 years. I'm sure you will retire very soon anyways. I'm glad you did not retire this year because you have been producing for me a lot. So let's get to free agency. Here we are after free agency, picking up Bryce Callahan on a dirt cheap deal. J.C. Treader on a pretty good deal. He's going to be my starting center. I moved Chauncey Pitts over to right guard to fill Darrell Williams' position. Pretty solidified offensive line. Hopefully that helps Josh Allen. Let's move into the draft. Rudy Harrison, hidden development running back. He's going to be a rotational piece because there's nothing here at the back of the board. There's only some offensive linemen. I don't need offensive linemen, and I might as well just get a secondary back. There's nothing here of interest, so just best player available is what I have. So anyways, guys, apart from that, I'm just going to skip to the end of the draft. Here we are at the end of the draft, and it looks like Harrison is 77 overall. Really good pick out of Oregon. Let's see his development traits. It doesn't matter. It's the final season. I'm going to look at it regardless. Star dev only. Unfortunate, but it's fine. It's the final season. It's not like he would have progressed past Zach Moss. Defensively, looking pretty good. Jerry Hughes is going to be starting. I don't know what kind of crack you're on if you think he's not after the seasons he's had. Good, he's the rush right end, just making sure. Starting him. Callahan's going to be my slot because of his speed. And yeah, once again, guys, it is time to get into the playoffs. Actually, I'm just going to skip the midseason mark. It's the final season. We don't need to re-sign anybody. So hopefully we do not lose in the divisional like we do every single year. Here we are in the playoffs, and my bad. How could we possibly lose in the divisional whenever we don't make the playoffs in the first place? Finishing 8-9, Jets somehow take the division. As the Bengals finish, as we're coming off a win to the Bengals, Jets get the 4th seed. God, this game is quality, dude. Quality. Josh Allen finally produces, but doesn't produce the playoffs. 29th best offense makes no sense. 24th best defense. Why? I've changed nothing. I have changed nada from this team. Oh, Darrell Williams is gone. Team crumbles. Like, that makes no sense. 4,200 yards, 33 TDs, 16 receptions. Zach Moss, 8 TDs, 1,000 yards. Pretty good still. Wait, what's his average? Finally has above 4 average. Good. Now he's actually starting to become a solid running back. Harris did not do good. Dawson Knox, 1,100 yards, 9 TDs. He's been so consistent, yet he didn't get one dev up throughout this entire thing. Scotty Miller, 8 TDs, 1,000 yards. Gabriel Davis had more receptions. Wow, Stephon Diggs kind of sucks. Looking into it defensively, Tremaine Edmonds, 125 tackles for a loss, 23 for Von Miller, 20 sacks for Von Miller, 12.5 sacks for Ed Oliver, and Jerry Hughes finally does not produce. Wow, the 1 year he gets X Factor, they're like, nah, he sucks now. Get out of here with that weak shit. Anyways, he's very old, though. For like a 36-year-old X Factor, 5 sacks is not bad. AJ at starting defensive tackle, second-string defensive tackle, sucked. Von Miller was so good. Ed Oliver has been pretty good these last 2 years, but dang. Interceptions 3 for Tremaine Edmonds. Safeties on team, 1 for Von Miller. Defensive touchdowns is 1 for Tre'Davious White. So I'm sure the thumbnail will probably be Jerry Hughes and Ed Oliver. And yeah, this rebuild just pisses me off. Completely unsuccessful rebuild. Very upsetting. Josh Allen just did not perform how I wanted him to. Exact same way with Stephon Diggs. Dawson Knox did great. Our offensive line is above average. I don't see a problem with this team necessarily. Yeah, this is like our safeties are older, but they have been above average for most safeties. So, yeah, anyways, guys, apart from that, I thank you guys all for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.